how to do a perfect taper fade with a brush back. If you're interested in trying this haircut, bust out your notepad, get yourself a pen, take some notes, and let me know if you give it a try. Today I'll be doing this tutorial on my busted brother. As you can see, he came in looking scruffy, so I hope y'all like it. My name is Sergio Barron, this is Faded Culture, and enjoy this tutorial. Now, I did go over the steps on how to do this shear work on our school mentorship, so if y'all are interested in seeing the full tutorial, then check the link in the description as I show y'all how to do this full shear work. But in a nutshell, all I did was section off the top from the side using a delta section, trim the sides using diagonal back sections, and then just trim the top to match that. Again, guys, this video was requested from somebody in our online mentorship, so I wanted to give them the benefit of having the full tutorial. But nevertheless, I still show y'all step by step how I taper into this style of haircut. Now, before doing my clipper work, make sure that you dry off the hair really well so that you're not cutting on wet hair. It's gonna just make your clipper work more difficult. So I don't tend to blow dry the hair completely 100%. I really just blow dry the sides or exactly where I will do my clipper work, just to facilitate my clipper work. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set in my first guideline with my trimmer. Second guideline, lever open, making sure that it's running parallel to that previous trimmer line. Now every time I set in a guide, guys, keep in mind that I'm thinking that I'm fading as well, so that I can leave my guides as soft as possible. Here I threw on the 1 guard, lever open, and I'm flaring out, again being soft with it so that it's not hard to come and blend out these guidelines later. Next, with the 1.5, doing the exact same thing, but this time I'm trying to connect already to the top length. So I'm being real soft and pushing the point of my guard outwards, flaring it out so that I can try to connect as much as possible to my top length. Now anything after that, I just clipper over comb, grabbing the exterior of any bulk that's sticking out towards my fade just to clean it off. So remember, guys, as you're setting in your guidelines, think that you're setting them in but also trying to fade them out, if that makes sense. So as I'm setting them in, I'm not trying to create them so perfect. I'm also thinking that I'm blending them at the same time. That way you have that, or build that habit of leaving soft guides. Now to start blending out that top guideline that you see me point at right here, I'm gonna use the half clip lever at 3/4 and using the corners, trying to soften up that guide. You'll see that it takes some time to blend out. It doesn't come out right away, and I like to do it that way so that I can gradually blend it out. I don't want to use a guard or lever position that's going to take it out right away, because that's how you can accidentally just create another line. So just applying a little bit of pressure using the corners and tilting the clipper inwards will help me soften up that line as much as I can. Then whatever that guard didn't take out, I'll come back in with the 1 guard lever still at that 3/4 position to finish blending out whatever was left on that guide. Remember, just be soft with it, take your time, and your challenge is to not create another guide. Now for the initial guideline, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the clipper lever closed. Again, being soft with it so that I can just blend out the initial start of it. Then open the lever 3/4, move up a tad bit higher, and continue blending that line. Next, go ahead and open it all the way and finish blending out that line. Now, if for whatever reason you feel like you're just pushing a line up higher and higher, that should be a note to self that you're being a little too harsh with it, or something needs to change in how you're fading out your guides. So just keep practicing, and then just repeat the process on the back side until that whole back taper is complete. I like to break it down. Since this last line takes me 3 lever positions to blend out, you notice how I break it down into smaller sections so that I focus on small areas at a time and it doesn't get so much overwhelming. So that's preference. So I mean, If you want to do it that way, you can. If you want to just fade all the way across, you can as well. Try them both and see what works for you. But once you're done, just go ahead and blend out or take out the rest of the bottom of the hair with your trimmer before coming in with the electric shaver to get it all the way down to the skin. And I am using nothing but wall tools, guys. Y'all can go ahead and use Faded Culture 15 at wallpro.com and save 15% on all y'all's tools. But then after that, remember how we use clipper over comb to get rid of all that bulk? Sometimes when you do that, you'll still have like this heavy weight line. And that's when you can come in with your thinning shears to soften up that weight line and help that transition look a lot more smoother. Now once you're done with the back, go ahead and start off with the side tapers. Again, starting with the trimmers, being soft with it to lay down our first guide. Even when I'm setting in my guides, I tend to use only the corner of the clipper. It's rare that I'll lay down the whole clipper on the head to lay down guides or blend them out. So just kind of keep that in mind. It helps me work in a more detailed fashion. And I'm using the exact same steps, guys. Open the lever all the way to set in my next guideline, just coming up about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. The more you compress your guides, the more of a compressed fade you'll have. For me, I try to keep them about 1/2 inch. For me, that seems to be the sweet spot on how I like my fades to look. So with time, you'll get to realize how wide you like your fades to look, or how wide you need to set them in to achieve the fade that you exactly want. Next, doing the exact same thing with the one guard lever fully open. Again, trying to be soft with it and flaring out as you exit with the clipper. Next, with the 1.5 being even softer. By the time I get to the 1.5, I tend to use a lot of the hump of the guard to help me point the tip of the guard outwards to leave a soft guide. Now I know on this side, and sometimes that's gonna happen where you barely see your guidelines, guys, and that should be a good indicator that you're leaving soft guides. But now with time, you'll start understanding where you need to soften up or how you need or want the fade to look. So that's why I always say use a picture reference to understand how you want the fade to look, and you can visually step back and see, does that area need the work right here or need more blending or not? Ultimately, you're gonna be the judge. Every barber is always gonna see something different. Nobody has the same vision. So as long as you have a step-by-step system to follow, you'll always have something to work off of, and you're not winging it during the process. But by all means, if you feel like this guideline is blended out enough and you didn't need to use those guards to blend out that second guideline, then don't do it. You'll be fine with just moving past it. But if you feel like you do, you have those steps there to follow. So again, the top guideline was taken out with that half clip, and then the one guard lever at 3/4. Both guards lever at 3/4 to soften up that top guide. And then the first guideline, we take it out with the clipper lever closed, then lever at 3/4, and then fully open, moving up a little bit at a time to blend it out. Then once you're done, go ahead and just take out the rest of the bottom with the trimmer and follow it up again with the shaver to get that fade to blend down all the way to the skin. Now, the shaver, sometimes people tend to use or leave hard lines into the fade again. If that happens, just come back in with your trimmer and try to soften them up. But for that same reason, what you want to do is use the shavers as they were a pair of clippers. Use the corners of them as you get closer to the fade, so that you can soften up the pressure as well. And that way you're not creating any hard lines. You have to learn how to flare out and use the electric shavers as they were a pair of clippers, so that you're not creating hard lines. Then again, just come back in with your thinning shears if you feel like there's a heavy weight line. to soften up the transition from the fade to the top length. Then just repeat on the other side to finish off our taper. And if y'all need or feel like y'all need more guidance, guys, whether it be personal development, financial skills, marketing skills, or just more help with your actual fade work and technical skill, go ahead and join our online mentorship program. It's a community of a lot of barbers that are like you, trying to learn and elevate their game. There you can upload your work, we can critique it, tell you where we feel you need a little bit more work on, and just basically help you along your journey as in becoming a barber. The link is in the description, so y'all can go ahead and check it out. It's a 7-day free trial. Check out the platform, see what it's about, and then just make your decision if you'd like to join us. And these are our very own Faded Culture shear set, guys. Very high quality, so if y'all are interested in them, go ahead and visit fadedculture.com and get yourself a pair. Then once you're done with your fade work, go ahead and follow it up with the trimmer work. This is the part where I start basically detailing and being really, or trying to perfect the haircut as much as possible. So I take my time and try to get my lines to look as sharp as possible. So learning how to keep a balance of not pushing your lineups too far in, but not leaving them too natural so that you have a clean line is a challenge. So you just got to learn where to find your sweet spot. Not be scared. In the beginning, you might be scared to push these lineups too far back, but sometimes you may need to push them a little bit back so that you can understand how far you can get away with before it's too much, if that makes sense. So if you're scared, basically just maybe let somebody that you're more confident with, that you can practice stuff like that on. Maybe don't do it on strangers, but if you have a brother, a son, or somebody that you could practice on, go ahead and practice on them first before you actually practice on strangers. Then I'm gonna go ahead and use our shave gel that y'all can find again at fadedculture.com, and use our very own straight razors. Right here I am going to use the slide razor to perform my straight shave. So apply the shave gel. I always apply shave gel on everything that I use my trimmer on, just to get my lines as crispy as possible. And I first start by tugging on the skin to help me create that tension and help that razor slide a lot more with ease. And first I'll start from the line and shave downward. This is where I'll shave off most of the shave gel, most of the hair, and most of the peach fuzz out of the way. And then I'll come back and reverse shave just to get that line to look as sharp as possible, and basically to help that shave last a lot longer. So here's where I'm back, or reverse hand shaving up onto the line. Now these razors are really sharp, so it's up to you to stop exactly where you left off with your trimmers. If you use too much force, you'll push past your lines and you'll just mess up your lineup. So it's up to you to practice and really just stop exactly where you left off with your trimmers. And if you're still not confident yet with the straight razor, I encourage you to use it without an actual razor loaded. That way you can get more or build more confidence moving around people's heads before you actually slide a razor on it. So always anchor yourself to somewhere on their head. You see how I'm always placing my opposite hand behind the back of the razor blade. I never have my hand in front of the razor because you can accidentally cut yourself. So that's how you create the tension, by putting your opposite hand on the back end of the razor. Now I am going to use our very own adjustable enhancement card. This part is optional, but I always like to apply a little bit of enhancements to my lineup just to help that lineup look a lot sharper, especially for pictures and marketing purposes. I try to do it to where it just looks as natural as possible. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start styling the hair. I like to apply the product wet in this style. I think it looks a lot nicer, but I am using our Faded Culture matte clay. I wet the hair first, I get about a dime size of product into my hand, emulsify it by rubbing it really well into my hands, and then I apply it. And then once you have a desired style, you can just apply a little bit of hairspray just to lock in the style all day. And you can just tell right here, he's already starting to feel himself. Shut up. Nah, but here's the before, guys. And then here's the after. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial and y'all were able to learn something from it. If y'all did, let me know down in the comments. Again, guys, feel free to join our online mentorship. We got a lot to offer on there and we're here to help. But with that being said, my name is Sergio Barron. This is Faded Culture, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next video. And don't forget to subscribe. Let me know in the comments what other video y'all like to see on this channel. And now we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.